Hey, what is going on, guys? I'm Master RKO, and today I'm bringing you another Counter-Strike Global Offensive video. Now, today's video is going to be different than the last couple videos that I've posted. One of them, of course, was a gameplay that, once again, I'll apologize as I did in the description of the video for the windowed recording. Um, but seeing how it was one of my friend's very first games, didn't really want to re-record that, and the video seemed fine quality-wise. Um, and the first video, of course, was like a live shoutcast, which I will be doing another one here soon. But this one's more of a video aimed at said friend, but also for anybody who watches, who may or may not be a beginner or a fan at Counter Strike Global Offensive. Now, I'll go ahead and purchase anything that I will need because today we're going to be talking about some of the basics going from casual to competitive. Now, we'll just stare up at the lovely view for a second. Now, I have five core um, topics that just overwatching some footage I've uh, I've gathered, but there's also a couple things that I might add in here and there if I think of stuff off the top of my mind. So this isn't a like a top five or a five most important. This is five core plus um, some things if I come up with them. So the first thing that I want to definitely go over, um, just to kind of talk about when it comes to uh, going from casual to competitive, is there is a different vibe to it. There's I mean, it feels different when you play the game. You get that tingling feeling, that nervousness in your stomach, and it's just a different stage when you're playing it. So, um, of course, the first couple things is just has to do with actually being outside of the game, and those are really just keeping calm because at the end of the day, it is just a game. Ranks really don't mean anything unless you're trying to become a pro. Um, you know, skill group doesn't really matter at the end of the day whether you win or lose. It's just a game. So keeping calm is a very big thing, as well as um, playing it to have fun. You know, early in my very early videos, I would always say, if you're not having fun, make it fun. Yes, it is competitive. Yes, it is for rank, and a lot of people are taking it very seriously, and almost every game is serious. But at the same time, if you're getting to the point where you are stressed out and it's not giving you the fun that you need, quit playing and take a break. Stop playing. Because when it comes to getting angry, getting stressed out, you start to rush things, you make bad decisions, and then not only are you only hurting your one performance, but you're also affecting nine others. You're saying, well, RKO, there's only four people on a team. No, there are 10 players in total playing in competitive, which is another big thing, the number difference. But we'll get to that. Um, but you gotta think because if you're playing bad, which causes your four other teammates to then have to cover for you and maybe playing bad, you also have five other players who now think they are very good because you guys are, just playing bad. So in turn, it affects everybody. Now, before we go on talking and rambling about other stuff, let's get to some of the core things. And the first one is obviously something that you should worry about, um, you know, before you even start playing competitive. But I know a lot of people just come in to play casual, casual deathmatch, stuff like that, and they're not too worried about it. They're just, they come in from another first person shooter, and they just want to come in and play deathmatch and play the game for fun. But when it comes to playing competitive, it's just stuff that you want to do. Now I'm coming over here because the wall's brighter and you got better stuff. Even though I started on CT because the M4A1S is my favorite gun. So the first thing is going to be your bullet spray or your bullet patterns. Now every gun has a different one. Certain guns have better ones, certain guns have less better ones. So I'm just going to go through here and grab a few different ones here. There we go. And as you can see, certain one of these, and I do have some settings on, which at some point, if you guys want to know the settings that I have to do videos like these, I will let you guys know about it. But anyways, spray patterns. As you shoot a bullet, obviously. As you burst, you shoot multiple bullets. But as you spray, as you can see, your bullets kind of go not where you would expect them to go. Now, I'll grab the AUG, just because it's known as the COD gun, because you can aim down sight. And other first-person shooters say that barrel is the person. If my reticle is at that barrel, but look where my bullets went. That is not Counter-Strike. So when you're coming into a game like this, you have to know your spray patterns. I went through, literally, you don't really have to do this. There's only a few core guns that you need to know and competitive that you'll buy that are usable. But it's good to know all of them just in case you're forced to make, rational decisions. Um, but knowing your spray pattern is a big thing. If you're coming in, say you want to use the M4A1S, just hold down, spray it, see where it goes. And as you can see, it kind of goes up, left, and then back right, and then back middle. The reason you want to know this is because as you move along in your competitiveness, you want to compensate for this. You want to get this as small as possible. So eventually you start pulling down. And as you can see, that's not much better. I'm not going to claim to be a professional, but that's better than that. You may get a headshot or two out of that. And as you get better, you can kind of start to group them better. And that's just for spraying. Some moments you'll want to just burst and that'll help you out. And as we're talking about spray patterns, because different guns have different ones, we move to a gun like the FAMAS that is even more all over the place, and you gotta compensate even more. Now, if you look at the buying, one's more expensive than the other. Of course, the M4A1S, or as I have it, Darth Vader, it's just a name tag, um, is more expensive. So, I mean, in the long run, it's supposed to be more accurate. But when it comes to buying and stuff, and money, and you need to end up buying a FAMAS for whatever reason, you still gotta be able to, keep it somewhat in check there. And as you can see, I'm crouching, and we'll get to that in a minute. But as we move on to that, the second thing that we're going to look at is, of course, movement, which is kind of the segue, I guess. And that is, as you can see, when I'm using this, and as you can see my spray patterns, I'm standing still. Chances are you're not going to be standing still in this game too often. Yes, most gunfights they say, don't move, stand still. Most gunfights they say, there's obviously crouching and walking, which I have my walk on toggle. Just a tip for you guys out there. Just for reasons of I can hit it, forget about it, do my movements, and then toggle off. I have it on my caps lock just so it's easier to hit. My crouch is on my shift just so it's easier to hit. I do not have my shift on toggle though, because I want to be able to crouch and then get up. Or if I'm doing a quick crouch shot, I'll walk over, crouch, and then I can get right back up. I don't have to hit it twice. Walk, on the other hand, say I want to be quiet, I can just tap it, I can keep aiming, I don't have to worry about hitting it again. Okay, now I'm good to go and I can run again. So movement also kind of goes into shooting, because, there's strafing back and forth, there's moving up and down, and the reticle that I'm using right now doesn't really express it too much, so I'm actually going to go in here and change my reticle just for you guys. We will go to a default. There we go. And see, that's a little bit, it may be harder to see because it's white, but that's a little bit better representation because as you can see, it shows when you're accurate. When you're standing still, you're completely accurate. As you move forward, it spreads out. So your shots, as you can see, go a lot more all over the place. So when it comes to moving, you always want to shoot when you're the most accurate, which then comes into um, strafing, walking, and crouching. Because see, if you're moving, you're completely inaccurate. But when you walk, you're a little bit more accurate. Add to crouching, you're a lot more accurate, which is why you'll see a lot of beginners crouch shoot. Because you come around a corner, bam, you can crouch shoot, or if you see someone, you can crouch shoot, and that spray is going to be a little bit, closer together, especially if you're bursting. But you'll see more professionals walk shoot because you're still upright and you're able to move, and then as they get better and better, they won't even walk shoot. They'll just kind of burst. Which, if we get into other types of movements like counter strafing and stuff, that'll be a different video if we get into that and if you guys want to learn about that. But strafing, we'll get into regular strafing, which strafing back and forth is good because you want to kind of keep, as you can see, where you're, every time you change positions, you're accurate. So you always want to shoot when you're accurate. So if we're aiming at that barrel, you gotta kind of get on time. And then you can kind of, which I'm bad at it, I'm still practicing, but as you can see, and then as you get better, you can kind of learn to go back and forth, which is always a better option because say someone's in front of you, say the barrel's an enemy, if you're running and you crouch and try to shoot, yeah, I can hit that enemy, but so can he. And if he's moving back and forth, say he's moving from the barrel to the corner, I now have to do one of these and hope I hit him. I have to, try to predict where he's going. Say he goes over to that door, now I have to go bam to bam, and another person, and you're doing this the whole time. So if you're walking, yeah, you're kind of up and you can kind of do more, but if you get used to strafing, say the barrel isn't staying in the place, you can kind of, you're moving, you're a harder person to hit, which a lot of people in competitive will use. Casual, they will not really do that. You'll see the crowd shooting, or a bunch of ops if you're literally playing deathmatch. The third thing is going to be your reticle. As you can see, my reticle is different. This is kind of the default reticle. It shows when you're moving, all that stuff. I will now go back to my original reticle, which is a classic static. Static meaning it doesn't do anything, it doesn't show anything. The reason I use this is because when it comes to first-person shooters, I'm a big fan of red dot sights and first-person shooters. And I love the dot. I feel like you're more precise. You can aim better, and it shows you where you're aiming a lot better than having a big crosshair in your face. So as you pick your reticle, think about the play style you want, how you play, maybe and other stuff, and how you want to be able to aim. If you want a crosshair and you want to be able to pinpoint, put the person in the middle of your crosshair, like say you really enjoy using the op and you really like that crosshair, then you can do that. If you want to go back to, where did I throw it? Like something like this, that's fine, because what this does is I can aim right on someone's head and I know exactly where that bullet's going. I don't have this big old reticle on my face with a crosshair, and you're kind of thinking, okay, my bullet's going somewhere in that crosshair. I know exactly where my bullet's going. So yes, it has its cons because of course you can't see how accurate you are, so you just kind of have to predict where you're shooting. But at the same time, I can line up that headshot pretty easily, and I know it's going to be on his head. So if someone comes, say they're coming peeking around there, you can just bang, hit him right in the head. Bang. Or if you're pre-aiming, which is my big thing, that will be part of the last part of the whole movement and everything. Pre-aiming is putting your crosshair where you want to see someone come from, or where you think someone's going to be. So many times I see players doing this and kind of doing like one of these, where if they come around here, you know, they're here, and so if they shoot, they're shooting that, but the enemy is here, so he's gonna see your arm and he's got you. So I mean, if you stand like here, you can see that hits me where I'm hitting this, and I have to kind of come across to get a good shot. Just something to think about. So when you're making your crosshair, which you can do like normal crosshairs, like in here in your thing, you can go through them, or you can just Google crosshair configuration, I believe, and create your own crosshair and then put it in your developer console. Which, to enable your developer console, you will hit escape, go to options, go to game settings, and at the top enable developer console, it'll say yes. Then you'll hit the little squiggle key next to your 1. That'll bring up this, and then you can like copy and paste your commands in there, and it'll let you further create your crosshair. The fourth thing, which will go off of movement and peeking and stuff and aiming, is positions on a map. Now, when it comes to you know, and I'm assuming most people know pretty much the full basics of this who are watching this. I can go over a full farther basic. So I know people know, you know, run faster with a gun, pistol, then, you know, this, stuff like that. I could go over, you know, strafing. I suck at bunny hopping. But when it comes to positions, I see people pushed up too far. I'll see someone, you know, come up here and watch here, and there's an opper who's, you know, there. So when you think you're safe, there's someone watching you, and they just come out here and bang, they're dead. And there's places on each map which I can go over. So once again, if that's something that you guys would want me to go over, either on specific maps, which I may do, because I remember back in Call of Duty I used to do kind of something like that. So if you guys want to see something like that in this, I can go over kind of the competitive maps of where to stand and where to set up pre-round and stuff like that. Because, you know, there are certain rounds where you're gonna play, because you'll always have, you know, you'll have someone with a sniper rifle. That's kind of, you know, he'll come over here and he'll come here, watch that, and then do his thing. But you know, you'll have people that are just like, okay, I got this. I'm gonna run down here, and you know, I'm just gonna hold like right here. And while this may be good, you're gonna have a bunch of people funneling through here, possibly, you know, coming out here, coming here. So there's a whole bunch of spots to look. And if you're trying to do this, you're, you know, doing one of those, it's just not gonna work. So learn which maps you're going to be in position. You know, terrorist side and counter-terrorists. You know, terrorist side, you're, for this example right now, Dust 2, if you're on A side, you're not going to just immediately come out like this and play without doing anything. And playing this as your spot. It's not going to work. Because you know what's going to happen is you're going to run out there like this, and you're going to have someone right here, and bang. If you have a good player, he's going to kill you. Or even worse, if you keep coming out, he's going to be here. So learning your spots, like for example, this is A long. If you're playing A long or long A in the top left-hand corner, some key places to play. There's right here where this is kind of a safer spot. This is kind of the car, so you can kind of play here. Watch this. You can play over here if you want to be safer. Kind of peek this. If you have an op, maybe you can kind of come back here. Some of the closer places, if you're wanting to set up one of the major ones right here, you kind of don't want to be peeking too far, so maybe something like this. You can kind of, or you can kind of come up here and, you know, kind of shoulder peek it, just A and D back and forth. If you see someone coming up, you can kind of run back here and wait for them, let them peek, bang. Or if you want to be super safe, you can come back here, so you have all that way to go. But and of course there's, you know, down here you can kind of crouch here and let people come out. But on this side you're also not going to be, you know, coming out in the same spot. There's middle ground on every map. Like this is a middle ground. As you're coming over here, this area right here is middle ground because you're going to have, I mean, you can kind of play this to get information, but you're not going to be playing that. Back there's a spot, and then of course down there's a spot. And then as we move along, you're going to be right here. You're not going to just come flying out with no cover. This is kind of your middle ground because you're going to have people, you know, playing here, you know, over there, there, back there. Could be up there, could be down there. There even, there even, there even. Because, I mean, come on, you can do, like, this. And get up on that box. You can even get on the upper box, I'm pretty sure, if you do, like, one of those. So, I mean, see, you can even, like, get up places like this and just watch. So like, this is kind of your middle ground right here. So just on every map, just learn which places is your neutral ground, I guess you could call it. You can even like go in former games and stuff like that, and find your neutral grounds, find where you're playing and where to be safe. You know, you're not going to be standing right here. You're going to get opt. You can kind of stand in here and stand in the areas that are going to be safe for you. If you feel people are coming out, you got places to, you know, stay back and keep cover. Which this is all stuff I can dedicate to one video. So we'll move on to one of the last spots, which is utilities. As you can see on the bottom, I have 3 utilities there. Those are my main utilities. I probably buy those at least every round that I can. We do have more. I'll just kind of, I can't really go through all of them right now, but basically there's decoys, which makes a sound of whatever gun you're holding and wherever you throw the grenade. So, you know, if that's silence, is going to make that sound. There's frag grenades, which obviously. There's incendiaries, which, I mean, obviously. There's smokes, which are obviously. And then flashes, which are obviously, and I'm not going to look at that, because I don't need to get you guys to milk. And unfortunately, my trajectory thing isn't working. So I will have to work on that. Actually, let me see if I can do this. Tutorial on putting stuff in. We'll do SV underscore grenade underscore trajectory 1, and then hopefully now, there it is. You want to turn that on because you can see, like, okay, you have that, and then right there is where it went off. So you can kind of, you know, okay, if I throw that there, goes off, and that's where it goes. So you can throw flashes, not have to look at them. And this is all stuff you only want to use in private. You can't use it in main games. But utilities, you always want to use them. Many times I see in casual game types, no one will buy grenades. No one will buy anything. So when they come into competitive, they don't know about them. They don't know what they can do with them. For example, me, for this is like a situation. Say we have three people watching A. We have someone down there. We have someone up on cat, and say we have the doorman. I call him the doorman, but he's watching door, and he's transferred over. No one's used their smoke grenades, so now you have three smoke grenades to use. And say that the enemy team is pushing really hard, and let's say bombs down. We'll say bombs down like right here. Say we got a good pick and bomb is down. Time is running out, and we want to make sure that they can't get the bomb. You have three smoke grenades. Guess what you can do? One, two, three, and then I mean this isn't really like key. This is just an example, but okay. So now you have that smoked off. Let's throw a better one. That's smoked off, and that's smoked off. And you can kind of get people in special areas. Like this right here is a good spot. You can see right through the smoke. They come around. They see smoke. You see a person. This side, because you have a third person, you can kind of cover this and see them, and then of course up there. And it slows people down. And using your utilities help. Say they start pushing. You know that they're coming. You know your teammates have them, but you can't stop the person on cat. Guess what you can do? Throw a flash. Bang. That actually wouldn't have hit him, so let's try a different one. Say you just, throw it like that. Bang, because it went off perfectly. That's going to get him. Now he's flashed. Come around and pick him off. Or say you're just tired of people going down there. Throw a fire. Catch everything on fire. Have them, leave. And using your utilities to the best. Buying utilities is one of the best things you can do. And using them to your advantage because they can make situations so much easier. I mean, you throw two smokes, one, two, and that cuts off two places. They can't see you here. Well, they might be able to see you like, and I mean, they can barely see you here, and you can kind of set up your spot. And that right there cuts off almost all of A. You throw maybe one more over there just to get an idea. That cuts off cat. Now all of a sudden you have a three-man smoke. And they're not getting through. I mean, they have to push through the smoke at some time or wait for it to go. Time's ticking. They're pushing through. And then, say there's three guys left on their team too. That guy can take out that guy. Say there's someone there maybe, and down there maybe they split up, or maybe there's two here. It just makes things work so much smoother and so much easier, especially when you get your team to use them. Flashbangs are very good, offensive and defensive. Say those same people are watching there, but you got to hear. That was horrible. Let's try that again. You can kind of bang, pops up there, flashes everyone here. You can move out. You can see everybody in their spots. Say you move up even further. Someone caught out. There's someone in CT. Bang, flashes out. And even if they have to turn away, you can cross, and now you're over here, or you're just not in a spot, so they have to turn, and then you can pick them off. Say they're like, oh, they crossed, and now someone's in cat. Bang. And you could throw better ones than that, obviously. You can like do little bounce, and then it immediately comes off there, and you could throw what's called a pop flash, which means as it immediately comes into view, it flashes. People see how on this trajectory, as soon as it comes into view of someone who would normally be sitting like here, it's too late. By the time you turn, there's no way, unless you have like super high sensitivity, which most of the time your reaction time isn't going to be good enough. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up. I do believe that there will be some things that I touch on later, dedicating, whole videos to as I play and get better, updating some information as I play and get experience. Just a few other touchy things that you can do as you play. Pre-aiming is one of them. As I said before, head level, just finding out the popular spots. Someone sits there, someone sits back through there, someone sits there. Oh, there's usually someone there. Yep, I'll check that, check that, check that, check that, and just kind of go through, you know, that's checked. And you can kind of do this with this. You don't even have to really hit anything. You can just kind of, you know, go through the maps. And as you play, you'll get muscle memory. So the next time you're coming up here, you're like, okay, that's good, that's good, that's good, 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 good. Okay, we're all set. All right, I'll check down here. Good, good, good. Okay, go ahead and plant, and then you can kind of, you know, pre-aim places, and you can kind of just get into the flow, and then eventually it just becomes, you know, straight up muscle memory. Just bang, bang, bang. Oh, there's someone up there, and as your aim gets better, you just start popping people. And your game gets better. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for this little video. It was a little bit longer than I would have liked, but some things I just kind of rambled on about. But I definitely think we got some information out there. I'm going to probably be going over more of these things a little bit more in depth as we move along. Um, of course, certain guns do need to be more in touch than others. I can go over, you know, buying costs, stuff like that, strategies that I use, and more stuff like that. But as of right now, I think that's going to do it. You know, if you like this video, click that like button below. If there's anything you want me to cover, go over more, any maps you want me to check out for you guys, or if you're just getting into Counter-Strike and want to know something, leave that in the comments. And as always, I am Master RKO, and I'll see you guys next time. You know what? Just for you guys, I know you guys probably like some cookies, so here's some milk before we go.